Good morning, 10:05. Welcome to Chicago Now with the ladies.
Yeah!
We're going to have another gab sesh
We
today.
are. We were just talking about how we need caffeine and what is like the best way to pump yourself up. And I wish we could like get comments from people watching right now. Like, what is the best way?
Espresso, a cold brew, or an energy drink. We both feel like our brain is kind of
I had to make
mud
notes
today.
on my note paper because I'm like, I'm not going to remember like the simplest stuff for today's show. Do you remember, and you may not, when I used to live in California, one of my best friends would always turn, he was a man, he would always turn to Go Girl energy drink. And I always thought that was so funny when I saw him like bopping around with like a pink Go Girl.
The Go Girl.
But it was delicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the new like trending energy drink is those Alani News.
Oh yes, you turned me on to those.
Yeah, and you can buy like half size.
Okay, that's
so
a good idea.
Feel like you're gonna die. You could just get the little half one. And a little pep in this. I think I'm gonna have to get a coffee. Today's a very important day, you guys. Jenna, Delaney, and I are going to do our special in Valpo. We're going to talk about wildlife. I bring this up a lot, but we're doing it today. So to your point, I feel like I really need to be like with it today. So I might have to purchase a coffee and treat myself.
All right, I look forward to seeing that though.
I can't wait.
What we do when we find abandoned wildlife.
Exactly.
Okay, so in today's show, we've got a lot coming for you. A rare sky event tonight, the Strawberry Moon. So I'm going to rely on you and your meteorological skills to break that down for us.
Well, it is going to be mostly clear. So what we have here, it's the lowest full moon that we're going to have in 20 years.
So it's not actually like the color, like a
The
pinkish
strawberry,
hue.
it's because of the time of year. So it's like they have the full harvest moon. I guess they do have blood moons, but the full moons I think are named after the time of year. So strawberry moon, it does look a little red though. I'm not gonna.
So we'll get into that in just a minute. And then I'm so curious to see how this works. Aren't you so jealous of people who like are able to take their remote work to the next level? And in this particular case, these people did this, what is it, the Great American Loop. So you get on a boat and you travel around North America. You use like channels, rivers, you travel partially through the ocean to do a loop like on the east side of the country. And I'm like, how did they self-fund this? So anxious to hear about that. And then, Caitlin, have you ever dreamed, and I know you have, of auditioning for a national show?
No.
Maybe I'm talking to the wrong person.
What?
Anyway, there's a school, Leo High School on Chicago's South Side. They auditioned on America's Got Talent. That episode airs tonight.
What did they do? What was their talent?
They're a choir. And so we're going to speak to them about kind of how they think it turned out. We won't know the results until this evening, but.
What do you want to be on national show? Miss Ma'am?
Maybe a circus.
A national
I could do
circus.
that.
What are you going to do, the splits?
Lion tamer.
No, thank you.
Yep, that's what I'll do.
We went to the Michigan City Zoo over the weekend. Speaking of lions, they had their lions on full display. They are so big in person. If you haven't been to the zoo recently, highly recommend it because those lions, they're something else.
We live near Brookfield Zoo, and last night my husband ran into the house. I'm not making this up, and he's like, I can hear the lions roaring. So my daughter was like barefoot and she ran outside, and yes, and apparently because I've done a few segments with them, they're like, the lions, when they roar, you can hear them from 2 miles away at least.
What?
Yes, and they usually roar like in the evenings around dusk, and
You live within 2 miles of Brookfield Zoo.
super fun.
Oh my
Caitlin would be out there every
goodness.
night. Can you see her like in a lawn chair with
Oh.
a PBR? It'd be like her entertainment of the day.
100%. I sit outside and hope that I hear an owl, a freaking lion. That's insane.
Okay.
Okay, so we're moving on to the what's trending and getting into the juiciest parts. Okay, so the smallest things send Americans stress soaring. This makes sense. I think we all have a little anxiety. A new survey finds that even the smallest sounds or situations like loud chewing or slow Wi-Fi can spike stress levels. Mine, for like the loud chewing, if I'm on the phone with my husband and he's drinking something,
The swallowing. Ooh!
I'm like, are you okay over there? So he's learned, because every time, like, I don't know what it is. It's so loud.
Why is he always drinking something when he's on the phone with you? I find that bizarre.
Not always, but
Okay.
we talked the whole drive home. So we're on the phone for an hour. So he's like,
I see.
gluck, gluck, gluck. I'm like, why are you swallowing so hard? Stop. Anyways, okay. Other small stressors include a knock on the door. Yeah, because the dogs freak out. That's annoying.
And hopefully the baby's not sleeping. When that
heavy
happens.
breathing.
Do I do that?
No.
Oh.
No, but I don't know. I guess mouth breathing. Bodie breathes loud, but I think it's darling. I could eat his breath.
Cute.
Just a little, like his mouth is always open. I can't. Okay. Some even said aluminum cans. Huh? I guess it's kind of gross.
The crinkling, I guess, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe.
Sometimes when people have those plastic water bottles.
That bothers you? How people drink out of water bottles drives me nuts. When I was a kid, one of my friend's moms would drink out of the water bottle with like her mouth around the whole opening. Like it was just so annoying. That's so annoying.
And that attention to detail is what makes you a great meteorologist. Because I don't think any other person would pick up on that.
Have you ever seen someone drinking out of a water bottle?
I've not paid
with
any
their mouth
attention.
around
No
the whole
attention.
thing, like
Nope.
not like sipping it, like
I can picture it, but yes.
sock texture. I get that.
For me, it's not the texture, it's the elastic. If you don't have a sock with a good elastic band,
like they're
that
worn
makes
out.
you crazy. Or like they're just not tight enough so that when you wear them in your tennis shoe, they start to slip down to the point where
worst.
they're just on the tip of your toe.
Cannot.
Yeah.
What is it about men and having holes in their socks? May I ask?
Yesterday, Jake was sitting in this chair during the 9 o'clock show. He had a hole the size of Antarctica in his sock.
Are they just like running on concrete? Like, I don't understand.
Well, yeah, why are they there in the first place? And I'm not kidding. It was on full. It was as if like he had one of those like shirts that goes off the shoulders, but it was like his ankle, showing his ankle bone. Like, what are you doing,
Natalie? I
I'm
borrowed.
like, tuck it in,
girl. I borrowed Grady's socks for the gym the other day, and on the bottom of both of the socks, 3 holes. I'm like, why are we holding on to these socks?
Oh my God, Jim. Okay.
Oh, those
Jim,
are some
all
nice
we can
socks.
see is your rear end, which might even attract more viewers. So thank you.
Wow. Well,
Jim
that's
from our creative services department showing us he doesn't have a single hole in his
socks.
sock.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
All you other men at home watching, look at your socks. I bet there's a hole in them. I don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and censor beeps on TV. They cause anxiety. Censor beeps. Who's watching shows that have censor beeps?
I don't understand that. I did make a list, though.
Of things that drive you nuts?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it.
This is, let's start with newsroom annoyances, because we're really getting down and dirty here.
I feel like we could talk the whole hour about this.
Well, people who crack their knuckles and the people that do it in the newsroom know who they are, and they know that I don't like it. But it is crazy.
Like going like this. I do it sometimes like this.
Multiple times.
What about loud tapping on the keyboard?
That was my
like
next one.
aggressive.
The loud typers. Like, do you have carpal tunnel? Are you? I don't. Yeah, that's one of them.
Okay, what's another one? Is that your whole list?
In the newsroom, it's also people. We each have our televisions at our desks, which is super handy in case you want to watch a news segment or something. But people that listen really loud and don't turn it down, or people that vacate the premise and they still leave their television blaring.
That drives you nuts.
That drives me nuts. The other ones are driving related. Do you have any driving related annoyances?
Of course I do. Yeah, I think everybody does, right? I think the biggest one for me with driving is driving along and then somebody's blocking your lane or the lane is closed or whatever. So you put your blinker on to get over, but the person that's directly behind you swings over before you get the opportunity.
Yes.
Then they zoom in and they don't let you over.
Yes.
Or the opposite situation happens where you're driving along and someone wants to get over, but like they don't wait for you to slow down for them to get over and they just swing over, which aggressive drivers in Chicago, it's everywhere and it's so crazy.
That was on my list.
And you're like,
I had 2 things on that list.
Yeah.
And it's like the Indy car drivers on the expressway.
Yeah.
Like that are
so
zipping
annoying.
in
What
and
are
out.
you
I'm
doing?
like, you are going to cause an accident and I'm going to be a part of it, and I don't want to be a part of it. Or the people that don't use the turn signals.
Yes.
I'm like, just signal.
Right.
You know what? Let me know what you're thinking.
Yes.
I want to know.
Right.
I'm not like a telepathic mind reader.
The people who zoom in and out of traffic, I want that energy. Like, I feel like, can you imagine sitting in the car with someone who's doing that? Like, they're just like,
geez.
Like, I don't understand what's going on in their head or their life that make them do that. Okay, so the big picture stressors still rank high. Nearly half of respondents said rising costs are stressful, of course. And many are overwhelmed by traffic. miscommunication. That's with everything, right? Work, friendships, family, miscommunication. Ugh. And technology overload, I get that too. Too much time scrolling or addiction to it. So to cope, Americans are leaning into old standbys like music, 58% say music, meditation is 34%, and pet cuddles is 32%. But also increasingly turning to CBD and THC products.
Okay.
Yeah.
That took a turn.
Yeah.
For me, I love my cat, Chips, and so I do enjoy a good chip snuggle, like when I get home from work.
And a little glass of wine.
Yes, every once in a while that too. But I want to meet someone who meditates regularly, because wouldn't that be a great skill to possess?
I tried once.
Uh-huh.
And it didn't work out.
That doesn't surprise me about you, Caitlin.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
tried to close my eyes and sit in my room and do it, and like I was just scared someone was gonna walk and like kill me, and I was home alone. It was totally silly, but
maybe
I just
it wasn't
couldn't,
the right setting.
like focus and close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like finding that good headspace. I think exercise is a great way to cope.
Yes.
Just go get you 20 minutes, throw some heavy stuff around, or go for a jog outside.
Or a nice walk.
A jog outside would be wonderful. So yeah, I mean the stressors, I think anxiety is there for everyone. We just have to know that our brain is making most of these situations out to be something bigger than it is. We're not getting chased by a bear. You're not going to be haunted by a, you know what helps me? ASMR.
Yes, that's a whole segment that needs to be booked on this show.
You're right. Yeah, ASMR, this girl called Sarah Lavender on YouTube, she does these videos, and most nights I'll watch them, and it puts me like
it sounds,
to sleep.
right? Like
She does other things, like this is gonna sound so hokey and cheesy.
Okay.
Like pretends to do your makeup.
Oh.
It's really peaceful, you guys. Just give it a shot. I know it sounds weird. It's a newer thing for me, but the ASMR is very, her thing is like relax you, and especially if you struggle from anxiety or you're having panic attacks, she literally will talk you off the edge.
Wow.
It's really amazing. I think these people do training and stuff, like special training to get people to mentally be okay, but it's fantastic.
It sounds good. I love that that's working for you.
Free therapy.
Yeah, I know. Amazing.
Yeah.
So I want to get your take on the Strawberry Moon. Tell me kind of the specifics, and are we going to be able to see it tonight?
Well, are we going to be able to see it tonight? Yes. I don't know the specifics because...
Let's read them from the card, shall we?
Okay, yes.
During this phase of the moon's 18.6-year cycle, its orbit tilts more dramatically, causing it to rise and set at more extreme angles. So I think it's going to look like it's just on the horizon, right?
This phase of the moon, 18.6-year cycle? Wow.
A rare celestial event, some might say.
Okay.
It's going to appear around 2:44 a.m. on Wednesday.
Yeah.
What's the forecast looking like at that time?
Kaplan will be up taking pictures, I'm sure of it. Yeah, it's going to be great tonight for that, for sure. So it looks like it's going to take on a warm yellow-orange hue near the horizon. Yeah, but I do think it's called strawberry because it is strawberry season.
That's right.
Oh, there it is. That's next. Yeah, strawberry harvesting. So it comes from the Native American tribes who linked the short strawberry harvesting season to June. Are you going to go strawberry picking this year?
I don't, only if I go with you and the girls.
That's right, we were going to go to Johnson's.
Yes, because to me, where I live so close to the city that you have to drive at least an hour to get to a decent strawberry field.
Yeah.
And that's a long time just to pick strawberries.
Yeah,
I
get
think,
out of the car.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I think we should plan that. We should probably do that.
We'll do that.
It's a fun time getting strawberries. Blueberries are common around the Chicagoland area. I think there was, I went to a blueberry picking field that also had / camping. Look it up. It was really cool. I believe it was in Will County. Cute. But yeah, the strawberry season. So fun to go. And you got to go early because they get picked over.
Well, apparently it's a very short season, like the beginning of July and then maybe like maybe April or something.
A couple of weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the window is closing in.
Johnson's Produce Farm is where our very own Gabriella Primus went out yesterday. And I guess they have a festival on the weekend. So they have a lot of activities for kids. And then, of course, the strawberry picking. Sounds like
delicious.
A good time.
How about this one? So a Maryland guy wins 50 grand in the lottery.
Okay.
And doesn't tell his wife right away. He goes out and he treats himself to a full car detail. And then he goes home and tells his wife, he says, but the rest of the winnings I might get my wife something, but I'm gonna get a full wardrobe.
Oh.
So I guess the question is like, do you tell your spouse right away when you win the lotto? Even if it's 50 grand? I mean, is there a threshold? I mean, 50 grand is a lot of cash. It's not $1 million.
If you win $20, I want to hear about it.
Okay.
But Grady and I do share an account. So like if it's going in there, I'm going to see it and tell me about it. We don't really, I mean, we don't have strict rules about anything like that, but this is more of an exciting thing. I wouldn't be like, I won 50 grand, so I'm going to spend it before you know I have it. That doesn't sound like a very solid marriage to me.
No.
Yeah, because I feel like even if it's not like if I won 50 grand and Grady was like, I want to buy this, this, and this, I'd be like, okay, enjoy. I know that money in relationships can be very sticky, a sticky topic. That is one thing that Grady and I do not ever fight about.
Thank goodness you guys are on the same page. Yeah, with that. Yeah. I think, I mean, and the question is, what would you do with the money? Because we've talked about this, college savings. Yeah. My hesitation to have more children is I want to make sure that I can put them through college.
You'll be all right.
And I've already started saving for the one child I have. But I think I would put a large chunk of that in college savings.
If you won $50,000.
Yeah, I would.
What would I do?
And do something for charity, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think invest it or something. I'm not very savvy. We did have a really good financial advisor on Chicago Now a couple weeks back, and I feel like getting a financial advisor is something that I should probably do. What about you?
My best advice for finances, well, one is no matter how much money you can, well, budget, of course, but like try to put some tiny amount away each paycheck, even if it's just $5 or $10, and send it directly to a savings account. And you can open up for free a high yield savings account, and you get a ton of interest back online. There's a lot of reputable sites for that. So anyway.
I love that. You know what else I do too is I created a second checking account. So for important things like your mortgage, or if you have a car payment, or you have health insurance that comes out, I divide those big money items into how many paychecks you get per month, and then auto draft it.
Good idea.
So that the main things, the four walls are going to still be standing. You're going to make that payment, and then your vehicle or whatever else that you have to do. It's always in this pot, so it's never going to be too low that you don't have it in your checking account.
Good advice.
All right.
I am super excited about this next interview.
Yeah.
Are we ready for Carly and Evan?
Or do we have to take a quick break?
All righty, we'll be back.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's 10:25 to Chicago Now. Thanks for joining us. And we're going to talk to two very adventurous people. This couple that was on a boat and lived on this boat. And we want to know the ins and outs of this experience that they had traveling across the country.
They are the navigating Netzels, Carly and Evan. Good morning, you guys.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, so we're talking about America's Great Loop. What is this? First, tell us what it is, in case somebody has not heard of your experience.
Absolutely, I can take this one. America's Great Loop is an adventure all by water, and you go down the coast, or you go up the coast all the way from Florida to New York, and then across through the Great Lakes, down the river system into the Gulf of Mexico, and around Florida again. So it is a 6,000-mile journey. That about 300 people do a year, I'd say?
Like 250 boats to do it each year. And
together?
Most of them are like retiree age, so we're definitely on the younger side.
So are you guys traveling together, or is it kind of one of those like Appalachian Trail where people go on their own?
Everybody's kind of on their own journey, I guess, but you do kind of migrate in the same groups because you have to follow the seasons. They say you spring up the coast, you summer across the Great Lakes, you fall down the Midwest rivers, and then you winter in Florida and the Bahamas.
How fun is
so you
that?
kind of have to stay in a time frame.
I have so many questions for you guys because my number one question when I hear like that people do these great adventures is how do you afford it? So can you explain how you were able to cobble together what you had and go on this great adventure, and did you work while you were on it?
Yeah, that's a great question. We definitely get it a lot being on the younger side. This is a retiree adventure most of the time. But Starlink has gave us the ability to do this while working. So we originally grew up in Iowa, not too far from you guys there in Chicago, and went to college. Both Carly and I have a 4-year bachelor's degree. We then moved to Florida, and I worked there for about 4 years, as well as Carly. And that kind of gave us the golden ticket, I like to say, to do this adventure. The boat inventory was awesome. We could go look at boats, after work and on weekends. And we decided, hey, life is not promised, and the dreams wasn't going to chase itself. So we started boat shopping, and it wasn't easy. We continued to work on the loop. I wish we were trust fund kids, but we're not. So we have to earn it. And we spend our mornings motoring. We anchor, do our work, take our calls like this, and then motor again in the evening for sunset. So it affords us time to, move along. But that's how we do it.
So this seems terrifying to somebody who it has very little experience on boats, let alone sailing. How did you guys learn how to do this? Did you have to do some crazy research? Are you scared? Tell us all the details.
Yeah, so we grew up in eastern Iowa on the Mississippi River. So we both grew up boating, not necessarily to this extent, not living aboard full time. But once we bought our boat a full year before we set off. So that gave us a full year to kind of get comfortable with the boat, to learn its ins and outs and systems. And then I would say the biggest thing that we had to learn was reading weather, understanding wind patterns and wind gauges and where it's coming from, the direction, what that translates to in wave height. So yeah, we just practiced for a full year before we left, and we're still learning. We are still learning quite a lot as we continue on.
Caitlin, you'd be so good at that.
I would be terrified.
You'd be a great partner, though. I think you would, because she's a meteorologist, you know, so she has all those skills. What did you eat on board? Did you cook your own food and go to the grocery store at the different ports, or what did you do?
Yeah,
groceries is fairly easy. The hardest part is getting packages, but Instacart delivers. We're never too far to where we can't take an electric scooter or an Uber to get groceries. So we definitely pack our backpacks full, and we cook on board quite a bit. We have a full kitchen, burner, and we're making it happen.
We eat out a lot too. There's been a lot of amazing restaurants that we've been to.
Sure.
Every small town, we have to go find a good local restaurant for sure.
Do you fish off your boat and eat the fish that you catch? First question. Second question, I know there's been a moment or two during this adventure that you've had a panic, like, oh no, the storms are moving in, or oh my, there's a shark right there. Can you give us the juicy stories?
Oh yeah. Fishing, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I can take the fishing one. We fish a little bit. What's tough about this adventure is you're crossing state lines all the time. So you have to buy a fishing license in every state to legally fish. I have 3 poles on board and maybe casted a dozen times or less. So not a ton, a lot in Florida, but not as much as you would think.
Yeah. And then as far as a crazy story goes, we were in North Carolina, and I have a video about it on our YouTube channel, and we were projecting to have a beautiful weather day. The sunrise was amazing. It was so beautiful. And then we got about 30 knot gusts of wind coming out of a northeast wind that was over 70 miles of water. So the waves were building and hitting us on the beam. And what that means is they were hitting the boat on the side. So instead of us going into them, we were just rocking back and forth. And I was terrified.
Yeah, it was a little scary. We got pretty wet, but we
made it through.
We made it through, yeah.
Wait. Sorry, I know I just asked that question, but I have a follow-up. So when the wind's hitting you from the side, so you have to turn the boat to go into the waves, were you guys far offshore, and do you know how to do that? Like, that's what you do? You turn into the waves?
That has to go into, like, your first question is, like, how do you learn how to do this?
Right.
Yeah. You do. You have to turn into them, and that's called tacking. So you kind of zigzag your way, put your nose right into them to break it, and then you turn back.
Then you have to turn back around and hit them, and then you go back into them, and then you hit them again. But I would say the biggest thing to learn is just through experience. Unfortunately, we wouldn't know how to handle that the next time if we hadn't gone through it. So we kind of just have to endure it a little bit.
What about conflict resolution? Because you guys are, I think you were high school sweethearts. Did I read that? So you've known each other for a long time, but I mean, you can't go to bed angry when one of you has to pilot a ship or a yacht or a boat.
Yeah, that was something in our marriage before we left that we agreed on. We'll never go to bed upset with each other. And boy, does that hold true when you live on a 36-foot boat, because you can't get far away from them. Yeah, we have had to learn that for sure. There's definitely been tense moments, but what ultimately it comes down to is we both have the same goal of being safe. We have the same goal of getting to the next port safely. So it's all about just taking a deep breath, being grateful that we're out here in the first place on this adventure, and having a lot of gratitude for sure.
I always tell Carly, we have to, if you have a bad day, you are on a boat. So just look out the window and see, you know, your surroundings and kind of center yourself again.
Yeah.
So do you get bored and do you think like, okay, I'm over this? Like, let's just be done?
There have been moments that you question why you decided to do this, but I don't think we've had a moment where we're like, let's throw in the towel, let's be done. We'll see in the next couple thousand miles if we feel that way, but so far we've just been loving it so much.
Good. And so where are you now, and what has been your favorite location so far?
Yeah, that's a good question. We are currently in the Hudson River
in New York,
north of New York City. And my favorite part definitely is the little nautical towns, fishing villages that you go to that you wouldn't otherwise. Like nobody's like, let's go on a road trip to this tiny town with one stoplight, you know, like, but we're getting to see these areas, and the people there welcome us in. They're excited to have us on their dock, fresh food. Those are definitely my big memories.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. There's been so many small towns that we would never have uncovered otherwise. And then, although this was maybe a little bit stressful, we brought our boat from Florida up the coast to the New York harbor. And just last week, we got our photo taken on our boat in front of the Statue of Liberty. So that was pretty amazing.
Do you think you're going to get rid of the boat, or are you going to do it again?
Good question. A lot of people ask us that. So far, holding on to it for a while. I think we would love to maybe get a catamaran in the future and maybe sail some islands. We will see.
A catamaran. Yeah, I did hear the best day of a boater's life is the day they buy the boat and the day they sell the boat. But I'm glad that you guys are loving it.
Yes. Thank you
We're
guys.
still in the between phase.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on Chicago Now. Again,
fun.
Carly and Evan Netzel, they are the Navigating Netzels. You can find them on Instagram and on YouTube. Best of luck, you guys.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much for
much.
having us.
Be safe out there. Would you want to do something like that?
Absolutely not.
Oh, I was going to
No
say yes.
way.
Why?
I would kill my husband, number one. There would be a mutiny aboard.
Yes.
And somebody would be walking the plank.
And
I
then
mean,
we'd have a
no.
show, yeah.
That would
after,
be it.
About
Yeah.
you guys.
Yes, there
Oh.
would be a murder mystery.
I didn't ask them. I should have asked them if they get seasick.
Yeah, probably not.
I would
right?
be, the reason I wouldn't want to is because I'm a chicken. Like if we were out and we were trying to fight waves, no thank you.
Mm-hmm.
No thank you. What?
I think I would get bored. I know that the landscape
yeah.
is beautiful, but no way.
Maybe if it was like on those small side canals and stuff, I could see that. But like open water,
No. Well, when we come back from the break, we're going to check in with Leo High School, Chicago's own. They are on America's Got Talent tonight, so they're going to tell us all about the experience after this break.
Welcome back. This is very exciting. So Leo Catholic High School has a group of talented singers that are about to hit the stage this evening on America's Got Talent at 7 p.m. with their audition, which means we get to chat with one of the singers, and we are super thrilled for them.
Yeah, Keith Smith is here from Leo Catholic High School on the south side of Chicago. And well, I see Keith and someone else.
Oh, maybe the camera is a little bit, could you guys get a little bit closer together perhaps?
Squeeze on in.
There we go.
There we go.
Thanks for joining us,
Yeah.
you guys.
Tell us about how you...
Thanks for having us.
Well, it is such a pleasure. Tell us how you were selected for this experience.
Well, we actually was recorded doing a CBS segment, and Audrina's taping went viral. And in that process, over 2 million people viewed. But AGT, it also got the attention of AGT, and that's how this all got started.
So your singers have performed for the Cubs, the White Sox, even the Democratic National Convention. Are you kidding? That's amazing. So can you tell us a little bit about those experiences and how some of these students, it was their first time ever being on a plane and a first trip to LA?
Absolutely. First of all, my name, because I know you said, who is this other person? But I have the pleasure. My name is LaDonna Hill. Have the pleasure of teaching here 25 years, and it's been absolutely amazing. These young men have inspired me and the work that I do, and I'm super excited about them and their growth. So it's a wonderful story. It's wonderful.
Welcome, LaDonna. Thank you so much. So, as
Absolutely.
Caitlin said, tell us a little bit about
These big
experiences,
life changing,
and how you prepare for those.
Keith, you want to talk?
Well, basically, when we got there, we got to LA, they kind of let us know, like, it's not gonna be no joking around. We gotta work hard, give it all. And every day, like, we would rehearse through going through the lines, going through the buses, like all our routines. We will always rehearse and always go off our parts, make sure we got the right energy, and just make sure that we just give it our fullest shot. And honestly, I want to say, like, for me, it was a little surreal because, like, this is a stage that I was watching as a kid, and now I'm on here, myself. But I know that, all the work that I put in and the blessing that I received from God, it wasn't for no reason. And I know I was meant to be on that stage, but it was just a blessing, truly, and just surreal to be there with my brothers, and just, they felt like family, really.
That's what I was going to ask, Keith, is do you feel like these guys are your best friends? Do you practice all the
Yes,
time?
yes.
Do you feel like you're breaking out in songs just by hanging out together?
So really, to be honest, if I could just we work super hard. These guys come in every day. It's a class, and we literally rehearse an hour and a half, sometimes more, every single day. The other caveat is I don't audition them. I literally take kids who have never had any music experience, and I've been able to condition them, their voices, the camaraderie. And one of the things that I really want to promote is that this, to me, is a testament of hard work. These guys are so determined. I believe it's about building the trust and the bond. And they've literally trusted me and allowed me to formulate their talent. And a lot of them, it's just a new discovery, literally. So it's amazing.
LaDonna, what a lifelong lesson you are instilling in them, that if you work hard, anything is possible. And that goes for anything in life. Keith, tell us, I always wonder when you're on these shows, whether it's America's Got Talent or American Idol, are you performing in front of the judges? It's live to tape, right? Or are they making you do things several times? How did it all work?
Basically, we kind of had to, like, rehearse a couple times, but when we perform in front of the judges, it's one time. But you get a couple times to rehearse and make sure you got everything right.
I
But
love
that's
that.
why you got to make sure,
Yeah.
And to be honest, we do the preparation right in Chicago. We worked super hard here so that we were prepared for that platform. And so we knew when we took opportunities, every opportunity we got in the hotel, everywhere, we was just kind of going over to make sure, because we knew when we got in front of those judges, it was it. It was that one time.
So those
And they
nerves were running,
Yeah.
but you were ready for it. So talking about tonight, are you guys all getting together to watch your performance? Are you so excited?
Yes, I'm very excited. I'm more than excited. Just can't find a word for it.
I bet your family is so excited too. How do your parents feel?
My parents, like, I've been singing since I was a kid, so, like, my parents, they kind of expected a little bit, but, they definitely excited for sure. They definitely excited. They more excited than me, honestly.
LaDonna, what do you want people, when they watch this segment tonight, to learn and know about Chicago and about Leo Catholic High School and the kids on the south side of Chicago?
Absolutely. I want them to know that this school is a beacon of light. When they see this story and they hear these young men, I want them to know, even the very song, that this is literally, I felt, couldn't have been written any better. 99 years, we are embarking on 100 years in education. And I want them to know this is a testament of hard work. These young men we don't do elitist. We did not audition them. I took what I was given, and this is the result. And this should be encouraging to anyone else that has any vision, any goal, any dream. If you work hard at it and do not quit, you never know what can happen. Dreams really do come true.
Okay, so you
really,
guys, you're local, and it would be a real treat to be able to hear these guys sing. So do you guys have any performances coming up that people could come watch?
Absolutely. In fact, we're performing this Saturday at Rate Field for the Pope's Mass. will be doing the music. Yes, we've had opportunities to work with the Cardinal many times, so we're very, very honored to be there. And then Juneteenth, we're going to be at Wrigley Field for the Cubs celebrating Juneteenth. So if you guys are able to come out and support, those are the next two performances that we have.
I love that. And then LaDonna, after, well, this is a question for you and a question for Keith, but I'll ask Keith first. Keith, do you have musical intentions, and did participating in the choir kind of inspire the next stage for you as you go on in life? And then to LaDonna, where do the young kids that participate in this program end up going?
That's great. So many of them, just it's the experience of the talent, the experience of the platforms that they've been given, the DNC, and all of those performances that you all mentioned. Some of them do actually decide to pursue music as a career, but some of them, they just leave with all of these rich memories of participating in choir.
So for America's Got Talent tonight, can you give us a little preview, a little tease about what kind of music you guys are singing, or which song you're performing, or is it a surprise?
No, this is the thing. We want to keep everyone in suspense.
Yes.
That is the word. But we are certainly encouraging everyone to tune in tonight, 7 p.m. And join us. NBC, America's Got Talent, and I believe you will all be inspired. I believe that the city of Chicago will be encouraged and motivated by what they see.
Well, we'll be cheering you on.
You represented us so well. I know you did. And Keith, what are you doing after this? Like, what are your future goals?
I'm actually going to Columbia College to pursue my dream of music. To answer your question, I always loved music since I was a child, and I always had musical dreams since I found out about Michael Jackson since I was a kid. But joining a choir, like Miss Hill said, she never auditioned me, and I was always in general music playing instruments. So when I told her I could sing and other students told her like I was a singer, she gave me a shot. And when I joined choir, I didn't even realize that like it was the best 4 years of my life, and I learned so much, experienced so much. But just because of Miss Hill, and I told her this many times, just because all of the things that she told me and motivated me with and inspired me with, because of that, I'm going to be one of the greatest musicians to ever walk the earth. I promise you.
Oh, amen.
But yeah, I'm going to pursue my dream of music.
We wish you the best of luck. It sounds like you've got it inside. You've got it in your soul there, Keith. You're going to do a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have fun tonight.
If I may, I was just going to say, oftentimes, we hear that teachers are to inspire and motivate the students. But I really need to let you guys know, these students have inspired and motivated me every single day. I've been blessed to work my dream job for 25 years, literally.
Beautiful.
Literally.
And that's why they've succeeded.
Yeah.
Pure talent, heart,
I wish we
soul,
could just bottle
all of
that
it.
up and give that to everybody in Chicago,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What a great feeling. Thank you guys so much. And again, good luck.
Absolutely. Thank you both. Thank you.
Aw, that was great. Wouldn't it be so fun if we could get them on Good Day?
Yeah, we do. We need to have them on. I know that they've participated in our Orange Friday pep rally series because Joni Lum has been out there a couple times.
Amazing.
I know. I mean, they're just
Wow.
like the best energy you could ever imagine.
Tonight will be so fun to watch them. So 7 p.m. you guys, America's Got Talent. We got to support our own Leo Catholic High School. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. 10:51. By the way, our very own Jeremy Allen White lookalike is watching us on Chicago Now.
Hey.
He just sent me a message. We can't wait to have you on as a guest. It'll be so fun. Okay, so we're going to talk about Reddit now. The first one, I'm teeing Natalie up because she has some things to say. A minor quibble about Chicago, Nat.
Yeah, so this is a great Reddit thread. People just weighing in on, okay, why does Chicago do this? One of my favorite threads was basically that why does the blue line out to O'Hare sound like an old wooden roller coaster? And like it's so rough and like crazy. So I put together a few short things. What is with the double parking everywhere? It's got to be because of all of the ride shares, right?
Yeah.
But it makes me crazy. Because I'm waiting at the light, I can't see what's in front of me, and I think, oh, is there just a backup? No, it's just a person double parked.
Unreal.
That makes me crazy. The untimed lights. Okay, when I come to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, I don't want to be sitting on Lower Wacker, okay, with everyone else down there.
Right.
I want to just breeze through.
Amen,
and so
sister.
I don't understand. Other cities do this well.
Blinking yellows.
I'm like when I lived in Houston, if one light turned green, the next one would, and so on. You didn't have to stop every light. Like what is going on in the city of Chicago?
I have it. Lakeshore Drive is pretty good timing, like overnight. But Columbus, you go one street over and it's a nightmare, and you sit at every light for like a minute.
Well, and that has to be deliberate. It has to be, because if certain streets are not a problem and others are, they're doing that to get under our skin. There has to be a reason for it. The other thing is, and this is just a minor thing, like if I could make an improvement in Chicago, it would be, can we sell Chicago popcorn on every street corner? Because how much more enjoyable would sightseeing and everything else in the city be?
Smells
I
good.
could just have a bag of popcorn in my hand.
Like every Starbucks has a popcorn next to it, like a Garrett's next to the Starbucks. You have a Starbucks, you have to open a Garrett's too. That's a Natalie Baumke order.
Do you have a quibble about the city?
I think maybe just the no service on Lower Wacker is unfortunate.
Oh, the GPS.
People get lost a lot.
Yes.
And then it gets scary. You don't know where you're going. Other quibbles about the city? Not really.
Yeah, I mean, it's overall compared to other cities that I've lived in and been to, it is the best. It is the best city in the world.
It's the best,
in my opinion. It's the cleanest.
Yeah, nothing
people are the
pops to
nicest.
mind. We got a lot of rats.
Number one.
But also, don't do anything to the rats because I feel bad about the rats.
Yeah, see, Caitlin won't let you do.
We could get them some birth control. I heard that's coming. You know,
whole different conversation.
So that's my only thing. More birth control for the rats in Chicago.
Okay,
that's my quibble.
How do you feel about guys wearing flip flops?
Sure.
Yeah,
I don't care.
it's not a problem.
Just clip your toenails.
That's fair.
You know, in general, fingernails too. Is that just me? I like a man with some short fingernails. Like if a guy starts getting some, if you can see the whites of the fingernails, I'm not a big fan.
Okay.
I feel the same. Is that crazy?
No, it's not. I tend to notice the fingernails as well. I don't know why, but I think it's because once you have a child, you're in charge of grooming them, and so I have to clip the fingernails and the toenails.
Grady does all of that for the kids.
That's great.
It's a spooky job, that clipping nails.
But back to the flip-flops. So my dad will not wear flip-flops. He does. He feels like it's not something that he wants to do.
Okay. Does he wear like the Adidas, like, you know, solid?
The slides.
The solid.
Only with socks. I don't know.
Well, I feel like that's even worse than flip-flops. Right? I don't know.
But he used to have things to say about when I would date a guy who would wear flip-flops. He was like, questions would arise.
Well, I was a lifeguard once, and all the boy lifeguards wore flip-flops.
What else would you wear as
What
a lifeguard?
else would you wear?
I mean, would you
Crocs?
Crocs?
I'm ordering Crocs today. Should I get white or black, you guys?
I have white.
You have white. You have white Crocs?
I have white Crocs.
Jenna has white Crocs. That's it. Ordering the white Crocs. I lost my
can't
flops.
sign off on them at all. I just can't.
They protect your
under
toes.
no circumstance can I approve those.
That's a solid shoe. But yeah, no, flip-flops on men, I don't care. That's fine. Just clip your toenails, like I said. That's all I care about.
This
beef etiquette. What?
Yeah. Okay. So here's the deal with this.
Oh.
Another Reddit thread. So if you eat an Italian beef, okay, and let's say you get it extra gravy, you get it dipped, wet, however you like to say it, and then you use the restroom afterwards, okay?
Ew.
Are you washing your hands before you go to the bathroom? or are you going to the bathroom? Okay, Jim, what do you've got something to say?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta wash the grease and then wash.
You gotta wash the grease. That's what the people in the thread say. You're going to the bathroom after you eat a giant Italian beef sandwich. It's all drippy and gooey and sticky.
So you can't just use like a dry napkin and call it a day?
No, you need to double wash, I think. That's my...
I don't think I would.
I think I'm a napkin.
I think I would get the napkin.
Like a wet nap?
No, like if I had like just a napkin, whatever. As long as they're dry
But
enough.
the smell is still on your hands.
But
and then you're handling the bathroom, like the door to the stall, and I don't want other people...
I don't touch that stuff usually. I kind of like use my knuckles or my arm.
Okay.
Or, I'm not
Gotcha.
going to get the grease on everything, I don't think. I don't think I would double wash. No, I would definitely not double wash.
There were
That's a
also
lot of
people
work.
concerned about if you ate it with extra jardinera and you didn't wash ahead of time and then you were taking care of business, spice might transfer.
Oh, no. No, it would be fine.
It's spicy.
I mean, that's really funny. Beef etiquette. Yeah, no. Not with the double wash, but
Okay.
you know, Anthony Ponce, you missed this. Speaking of washing your hands going to the bed, did you know that there are men that work in our facility that don't wash their hands after using the facility?
Ew.
Yeah.
I
So
could have
heads up.
lived another day without that.
Sorry,
fact.
but can we talk about a banana being eaten with a fork in a knife? So I guess Natalie said this was very interesting to watch. The only way to eat a banana, according to an etiquette expert, is with your full cutlery. So I think we've got a video of it.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, when I feed a banana to the baby, I use a spoon and I scoop a little bit off the
Aw.
banana. But here we
What
go.
is this man doing? Where is he, first of all?
His living room. Okay, so he's gonna cut off the one end
Oh.
with the
Then-
peel. Oh, here we go.
Cut off the other end, turning your knife on its side, then
course he's got a
score
British
down
accent.
the skin.
He's peeling off the skin at that point. So I guess he
What?
peels it off
Peel
with the
back.
knife. This is ridiculous.
And eat like so. Here's
Can I
how
tell
to
you
eat a
something?
banana. Now, we don't...
Etiquette is so insane. I don't feel like this should be a thing in society anymore.
Well, a banana is a portable snack, is it not?
For
I mean, it comes
sure.
in its own case.
Yes.
So no one is carrying it with a knife and fork.
I think maybe men that don't wear flip-flops also don't want to eat bananas without a fork.
Full circle.
You know? But no,
Yep.
the etiquette thing, I don't like it. It's like, why do we have to be so proper all the time? Can't we just relax? We're all in this together. We're figuring it out. Don't judge me if I use the wrong spoon. Why is that even a thing? Have you taken etiquette classes?
In college, I had to take a business etiquette class. It was like a hospitality class, and
Okay.
it was ridiculous. It was
I feel like you
can't
would
start
have great
eating
manners.
at the whole table, which I get that. That is still observed, I guess. If you go to an event or something, you don't start eating until the person next to you starts eating, no matter how hungry you are.
No way. That's a thing, hey? I didn't even know. I'm one of those people who go to a dinner at someone's house and I'll start eating and then they start praying and I'm like,
Whoops. All
Yeah,
right. Any
okay.
final words for today, Caitlin?
no, I hope you have a great day.
Yeah.
Clip those nails and what else do we get from this? Enjoy your bananas.
You'll want those flip-flops. It's going to be a hot one.
Tomorrow for sure. It's
All right.
90.
Have a good day, everybody. Bye.